What's up, YouTube? I wanted to talk today a little bit about slide bite. What it is, how you avoid it, why it happens. I'll try to be real quick. What slide bite is when you're holding your pistol, and a lot of people like to choke up on their firearm. And what choking up on your firearm does is lowers the bore axis in conjunction with, let's see if I can get around here, in conjunction with your wrist. So the higher you can get on your firearm, the lower the bore axis is to your hand and your wrist, the less muzzle flip you'll get, and the recoil tends to come straight back instead of up. If you're down here and you shoot the gun tends to flip more. So a lot of people like to choke up as high as they can. Get your palm swell, or your right here, up as high as possible. And when you're doing that on a gun that doesn't have a beaver tail, or something as pronounced, and there are guns out there that don't have a palm, I don't know what you would call this, a beaver tail. Some guns go from the grip straight up, and when you choke up, when the slide comes back, it rakes across the webbing in your hand. I don't have that issue with any of the guns I'll show here, but like the M&P Shield, I didn't have to put a beaver tail on. I don't even know if they make a beaver tail for it, but it's comfortable enough, plus the recoil's not really that bad on it, that I can choke up and not worry about that slide coming back and getting slide bite right here because of the distance between the slide and the web of my hand. Now on my Glock, I actually did add the beaver tail right here. Not as big a problem with Glock, but could be without it, because if you see, if I didn't have this beaver tail, I could choke way up. A lot of guys are undercutting their trigger guard so they can get their middle finger up higher and their web of their hand up higher, and then without this beaver tail, the web of my hand would be really close to this. And on recoil, when this gun flips back and the slide slides back, you can get slide bite off of that. So I added the beaver tail, one, for comfort. It feels really good. It feels better than the stock back strap, or having no back strap on your Glock. So I can choke up and lower that bore axis instead of being up here. Now it's down here, more in line with your hand and your wrist. So a lot of manufacturers are the newer manufacturers, that's not much of an issue, especially with like 1911s, because they come with, all 1911s as far as I know have at least some kind of beaver tail on it, like that. Some are enhanced, some are, if you look at these two beaver tails on here, the Colt's longer than the Rock Island. It curves up instead of down on this one, but they have something to eliminate slide bite. This one, this is a polymer molded, so I can choke up on this gun. I can't choke as high as I want, choke up as high as I want on this, but I'm not going to get slide bite from this. There's no way I can get bit by that pistol. This one as well. If I put my hand up here, I can choke pretty far up on this, and I'm not going to get slide bit from it. So that's what it is when that slide comes back, and it's mostly due to let's take this one. It's mostly due to when your gun flips up and the slide, here, select this open. Yeah, come on, there you go. So when you're choked up on this thing and the gun flips up, and then slides back forward. It'll pinch right in the web of your hand. So to me, beaver tails are good to have. I mean, I've never had a problem with them, especially on the 1911s. But any gun that has a nice kind of a beaver tail in there makes the gun feel better. Plus, you'll avoid the slide bite. So that's it. That's all I wanted to shoot a video on. Plus, I wanted to show off a few guns. But yeah, if you're ever wondering what slide bite is, how to avoid it, you get a gun that has either a stock beaver tail on it, or one you can put a beaver tail on, like the Glocks. And these come, I think most Glocks come with the back straps with the beaver tails on them, or you can order them. But definitely worth it, especially to me, especially on Glocks, where you can enhance this, grind out this trigger guard here to get your hand further up. So a lot of people choke up way up on Glocks. If you're going to do that, maybe a beaver tail is something to keep you from sliding your hand up too far. So anyway, thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. We'll see you.